Good evening, guys. It is just after 9:30 on Wednesday, the 1st of June 2022, and I thought I might just have a look to see where we are on the journey in this F.I.R.E simulation. The first thing that I thought we might have a look at is just the general trend. So at present I'm set to a 1 week time period, and as you can see, the general trend of the market is something along that line there. Actually, let me just change the angle of that slightly, just to try to get it to fit roughly with sort of in between the highs and the lows, if you like. And then if we drag that up the way, you can see where we maybe might have expected to be by now, but obviously clearly we're not. And just then, so what we have seen, and I think the catalyst for this appears to have been the war in Ukraine. There may have been other factors as well, but certainly you notice this big dip happening around mid-January. I'm not sure when the invasion of Ukraine started. It's probably a little after that. But as you can see, we've dipped all the way pretty much from the start of January up to around about well through February, and then there was a bit of a comeback, although that was short-lived, and then we've fallen, I think, maybe not actually further in real terms, but certainly fallen back a bit from there, and then just a slight rise again in the last couple of days. There's been a couple of bank holidays and stuff recently, although I don't think that has played a significant part. So let's just go in a bit closer. If I set this to a 1 day time frame, and there you can see in a lot more detail the first big peak, then the first drop back, slight recovery before a further drop, and pretty much similar since that, another slight recovery and further drop, and then in the last as I say, the last few days, last week ish, a fairly important rise back up again, but nowhere near where the highs were previous to that. So at the minute it's unclear, I think would be the word to use, to know whether or not this is another slight climb back before a further fall. If you watch many videos about financial education, you will hear people refer to a phenomenon known as a dead cat bounce, which I think is pretty much what you might say this was, where basically the market had fallen. It appeared to, well, it did come back up again, but it fell further afterwards. So basically a dead cat bounce is kind of where it maybe looks as if the pain is over, if you like, but in fact it's not. So just to then compare that to where we might have expected to be in terms of the investments that we've been making and the growth that we would hope to see. So just if we look here, we've got a bit over £1,000 invested, so by the time you factor in that negative return, I think we have £1,080 £8 invested. So let's just have a look at that in Excel. Okay, so on this you can see the calculation, which is showing the weekly amounts being added, and it's also including then the calculation for the growth that you might expect to see if the S&P 500 was indeed delivering an annualized return of 10% per year. And I have further divided that figure then to indicate what the growth per week should look like. So there's week 2, and if we continue down to the point where we would have £1,080 invested, which is where we are now. Hypothetically speaking, by this point we would have hoped to have seen growth amounting to a total of, let's say, £8.35p. So not a massive amount, but it's only been less than, well, just over 2 months in fact, since we started this. And there's a lot further to go yet. If you've been following the journey, I've said we're going to do this over a period of 8 years thereabouts, and although we're not seeing the returns just at present, I do think that in the not too distant future things should turn around. And I would like to think that the S&P 500 will be back on track, and hopefully we'll be back into positive territory again fairly shortly. If you want to follow the journey, please feel free to subscribe. You could also like the video if you wish. And you can access more content at soft.uk.free.fr. And of course, if you've got any questions or comments, feel free to leave those below the video. Thanks for watching.